It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask kindergarten teacher Miss Gibson.
Give me just one Clorox wipe and I'm ready for glitter glue, exploded lunchbox yogurt, peanut butter handprints, runny noses, picking noses, rubbing noses.
Touching noses.
Thank you, Edward. Ooh, nap mats and lockers and tissue boxes. And
Clorox
scissors.
disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe. Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
Hello there, Grace Alice here, just popping in your ears to say I really hope you're enjoying the G-Spot, and we have a treat for you. You're about to hear a teaser of one of our bonus episodes. So if you like what you hear, you can go and get loads more where that came from. If you sign up to Head Stuff Plus, you get my weekly bonus episodes, so that's double the G-Spot content you're going to get. You get ad-free listening, you get access to the bonus content of all the other Head Stuff podcasts as well, and there's some brilliant ones. And of course, it's an amazing way to support the G-Spot, which I truly, truly appreciate. All you have to do is head over to headstuffpodcast.com, sign up for as little as €5 plus VAT per month. Enjoy! When we think of a lot of the representations of, say, older people having sex, like even in films and whatnot, it's kind of used as a comedic tool, you know, these kind of two old ones going at it or whatever. And it's really rarely seen as erotic or supposed to be titillating or stimulating. It's usually seen as something to kind of laugh at or the butt of a joke. And older people's bodies are treated that way as well in the media. And it's actually vile. It's vile because we're all going to have old people bodies at some point. We're all going to be old. Touch wood, touching wood here, where hopefully we live long, healthy, happy lives. I want to have sex as long as I'm alive. You know, I want to have sex. If I live to 95, will I be having sex at 95? I don't know. Maybe I'll be masturbating. Even kind of talking about that, even as that comes out of my mind, it makes me feel, or as it comes out of my mouth, it makes me feel a bit funny. And I think it just shows that, like, it's so, this kind of shame and whatnot can be so deeply ingrained in us, because I like to think of myself as very sex positive and very, you know, open sexually and, you know, want everyone, regardless of age and abilities, etc., to have a really fulfilling sex life, however that looks for them. But when I think of myself being, I was saying 95 there, even if I think of myself being 95 and using a vibrator, that's like, oh, it makes me feel a bit weird. It feels a bit wrong in some way, but why? Why is it wrong? Of course it's not wrong. And I think some of this is because we're conditioned to think about sex in this way that, like, again, it's quite performative and it should be visually appealing to other people. I think porn can play a part in this, where, you know, we're thinking about, when we think about two people having sex, we're probably thinking about two very traditionally maybe attractive people having sex. Again, probably people of a certain age group, and it looks a certain way and it sounds a certain way, and that's all very socially acceptable, and that falls within the bracket of being sexy. But sex is not a show. It's not for necessarily the world to see, unless that's your job. Like, for me, even like masturbating and self-touch and having sex with myself, that's just for me. That's a gift to me. That is my way of connecting with myself and my body and my pleasure. And it doesn't have to look in any way glamorous or erotic, or doesn't have to appeal to anyone else, because it's for me. And it helps with my sleep, my mood, my stress levels, just my feeling of being an alive, you know, human, having like real vibrant gorgeous experiences, you know, squeezing every bit of pleasure I can out of life. Like, that's what it's all about to me. So it doesn't feckin' matter how it looks. So it's funny that my brain even goes there. I find it hard to like, this comes up a lot in my brain because, again, I'm 33. Again, I'm still in the scheme of things quite young. And I don't know at what age is there this cutoff point where people start desexualizing you. Again, I suppose it's quite subjective. People could start desexualizing you and think you're too old after 25, or it could be after you're 50, or it could be after you're 60. Maybe it depends on how you look, you know, because I think a lot of people would still think of like your J-Lo or Sofia Vergara or whoever as still very, very sexy because they, you know, look a certain way. But when I think of myself and my sex life and the kind of sex I have, I'm like, am I going to be, you know, 60, 70 still doing like handcuffs and harnesses and vibrators and, you know, like power play and all these different bits? Like, if I'm still into that at that age, like, my brain I just can't imagine myself doing that at that age. And then the other part of me is like, well, I hope I'm still doing all the things I like at that age. Why wouldn't I? And I hope I'm doing more. But yeah, it's just mad. It's just mad. It's like my brain playing tricks on me on like, I can't visualize it because, again, you don't see that in media or in really in porn unless you specifically probably look for a certain age group in porn. So maybe it is that thing of, if you can see it, you can be it, in the sense that if older people having sex wasn't this kind of butt of a joke so much, maybe we would be less ageist towards ourselves as sexual beings. I really, really think we would.
To hear the full episode, sign up at headstuffpodcast.com or click the link in the description.
This show is part of the Headstuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Headstuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.